Okay, welcome to the May 7th council meeting. If you'd please stand. I'm going to Council Member Howie, Mayor Pro Tem Howie, to lead us in the pledge this evening.
Please join us in honoring our great flag. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We have several proclamations this evening. Our first is Wildfire Awareness Week, May 5th through the 11th. I'd like to call up Fire Marshal Danielle Barnes, to receive the proclamation. Hi, Danielle. Thank you for being here this evening. And it reads, whereas in 2018, wildfires devastated approximately 1,671,000 acres, which included the Camp Fire, which destroyed 18,804 structures and claimed the lives of 85 individuals, and the Woolsey Fire, which destroyed 1,643 structures and claimed the lives of 3 individuals. The combined impacts of drought and extreme weather conditions caused by Santa Ana winds creates dangerous wildfire conditions that can threaten lives and property, as well as endanger our delicate ecosystem. The key to understanding the dangers of wildfires is through education and awareness, and as such, an informed and prepared community can take actions to prevent fires from starting. Whereas Wildfire Awareness Week will promote the awareness and education of necessary actions to prevent wildfires and the loss of life, property, and environmental damage associated therewith. And whereas the Chino Valley Fire District, along with the local government agencies and the Carbon Canyon Fire Safe Council, are prepared to assist our citizens by making our communities safer from hazard of wildfire through programs such as the Fuel Reduction Program, which provides a brush drop-off and green waste dumpster to Carbon Canyon residents. Now, therefore, I, Eunice Emuloa, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim May 5th through the 11th, 2019 as Wildfire Awareness Week, and I present this to our fire district and ask you if you'd like to make a comment, Danielle.
Thank you very much, Mayor Ulloa and the rest of the council. We live in a beautiful state, the state of California, but with that beauty comes the threat of wildfires. So this proclamation is really about promoting preparedness as it relates to that threat. So I encourage each of you, if you have loved ones that live in a wildland interface area, to please encourage them to prepare now for that. So.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here this evening. Our next is our proclamation for Emergency Medical Services Week, May 19th through the 25th. I'd like to call up our Fire Chief, Tim Shackelford, to receive the proclamation. Tim? Okay. Whereas emergency medical services are a vital public service, the members of the Emergency Medical Services team are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. Trauma has been identified as the leading cause of death among persons 1 to 44 years of age. Raising our community awareness and the threat that trauma poses can increase our readiness. And whereas emergency medical services teams consist of emergency physicians, emergency nurses, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, and others. The members of the Emergency Medical Services team, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. Americans benefit daily from the knowledge and skills of these highly trained individuals, and whereas it's appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Trauma Awareness Month and Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, I, Eunice Emuloa, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Trauma Awareness Month and the week of May 19th through the 25th as Emergency Medical Services Week in the City of Chino, and recognize firefighters, paramedics, and other medical responders, emergency medical responders. Tim?
Mayor Ulloa and Council, thank you for this. We do appreciate the focus on EMS and the employees that provide EMS to the community. Just a reminder to the public, All of our personnel are a minimum of a EMT 1, and the vast majority of our personnel are actually paramedics. Every single response unit in the Chino Valley has at least one paramedic on that unit. And just one additional piece to this, the great dispatchers behind the scenes that provide pre-arrival instructions really shouldn't be forgotten. If you're on the other end of the 911 call, placing the call, please make sure you listen to their directions, take their advice, and help will arrive quickly. And again, thank you for recognizing the work that our people do.
Thank you for being here this evening. Okay, now we have National Mental Health Awareness Month. I'd like to call up June Sano from Community Services. She's our clinical specialist. Darren Hodge, Behavioral Health Clinical Program Supervisor with the Chino Valley Unified School District. It's a busy evening this evening. Yeah. Whereas on behalf of the citizens of Chino, we recognize the month of May 2019 as National Mental Health Awareness Month. The City of Chino, Chino Valley Unified School District, and the Healthy Chino Coalition recognize that mental health issues can affect all people. Serious mental illnesses are more common than cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. And according to Mental Health America, over 44 million American adults have a mental health condition. Youth with major depressive episodes increased from 11.93% to 12.63% from 2017 to 2018. Data showed that 62% of youth with MDE didn't receive any treatment. Statistics also show that 1 in 5, or 9 million Americans with a mental illness, do not receive treatment due to lack of information or available resources. Misunderstandings exist about many mental illnesses, and our social culture also, or often, wrongly imposes stigma on these conditions. The City of Chino recognizes the importance of addressing both mental and physical health concerns as being essential to everyone's overall health and well-being. And whereas the City of Chino offers mental health services to youth, adults, and families, the City of Chino, in partnership with the Chino Valley Unified School District and the City of Chino Hills, offers several intervention and prevention programs for the youth in our community to better equip them to face life's challenges. Now, therefore, I, Eunice Emuloa, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim May 2019 as National Mental Health Awareness Month in the City of Chino, and encourage each citizen to continue to be compassionate and understanding of the importance that mental health services provide.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Ulloa and council members. We appreciate your support through the year, and the awareness of mental health issues is such an important issue for our community. We recognize that physical health is important, and usually we might have a yearly physical to keep up with how we're doing, and nowadays when you do have that, they even ask about your emotional health. So I really encourage everyone to take advantage of those appointments and to be honest with how you've been feeling emotionally, how you're doing, if your sleep or eating, anything has changed. I think many times we might have little red flags that maybe we're not feeling as good as we usually do, and so sometimes those are good opportunities to ask for help. We really appreciate that the city holds in high esteem the need for counseling, and that we are able to provide that at the schools along with the Chino Unified School District, and also here at our clinic. So we do have services, low fee services, because of the support of the council. And we have Darren Hodge here from the school district.
Hi, our program with the school district is the Behavioral Health Center. We have a contract with the Department of Behavioral Health, San Bernardino County, to provide individual and family services to kids in the community and the school district that have Medi-Cal, ages 0 to 21. We service currently with our clinic about 80 different students in the school district that have anywhere from moderate to severe mental illness, such as depression, anxiety, trauma. So supporting programs like this helps us build better citizens within the city. So we thank you for your support.
Thank you very much. And thank you for being here this evening. Okay. Before we move on to presentations, I want to take this time to recognize our city clerk, Angela Robles. She doesn't know about this. For the outstanding services she provides to our community. As some of you may or may not know, this week is the 50th anniversary of Municipal Clerks Week, and to honor the services that Angela humbly and professionally provides on a daily basis, we're going to be presenting her with a proclamation. Angela, would you please come up? Surprise, huh? Okay, now you stand over here. You have to be on this side of the camera. Okay, whereas the office of the city clerk is a vital part of local government, the offices of city clerk is the oldest position among public servants. Our city clerk, Angela Robles, provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and governmental agencies at other levels. As our elections official, Angela is always neutral and impartial, but yet always professional, which leads to equitable services for everyone. Angela serves as the information center on functions of local government in our community, and whereas it's most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments and dedication of Angela Robles, who has consistently served all Chino residents with professionalism, integrity, and grace. Now, therefore, I, Eunice M. Ulloa, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim the week of May 5th through the 11th as Municipal Clerks Week and extend our sincere appreciation to Angela Robles for the vital services she performs and exemplary dedication she has and continues to commit to the City of Chino. Angela, would you like to say a few?
I just want to say thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council, City Manager. I really appreciate it, and I'm very humbled by this. And I love what I do, and I appreciate your recognition of me tonight. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It was nice to surprise you. Okay. Okay, next, we're going to recognize Chino High School students for participating in the Odyssey of the Mind Challenge. I'd like to call up Coach Scott Rawson. Coach? Okay, please tell us a bit about the program.
All right, so briefly, Odyssey of the Mind is a academic competition that involves teamwork and creativity. The students were given, they have two types of problems that they have to do. One is a long-term problem where they know it in advance. And so they had to construct a vehicle, they had to build it, they have to be able to fit it inside of a suitcase, and then in 8 minutes they have to perform a skit where they do 3 rescues and ride on the vehicle. Then they have to, during the rescues, they have to deconstruct the vehicle, put it in the suitcase, and reconstruct the vehicle while performing the rescues. And then the second part of the competition is called spontaneous, where they don't know the problem ahead of time. They go in a room and have 8 to 10 minutes to do anything from like build a bridge to build a tower. So our team went to regionals, which is like inland, like the Inland Valley, and they won regionals. And then the second one, so technically they're the California champions, but they split California in half. So we won Southern California, but all of our stuff says California champions. So I guess we're just kind of California champions. And so on May 21st, we leave and go to East Lansing and Michigan State and go to world competition. So.
Okay. I don't know if we have all the students here.
All 6 of our team members.
Oh, terrific. I'm going to have you name them, and we'll give them.
Okay. So our first person is Caitlin Schimmel, who's a freshman at Chino High School. Our next team member is Bo Parker, who's also a freshman at Chino High School. Our next team member is Dylan Leach, who's also a freshman at Chino High School. Our next member is Alexis Buss, who's a senior at Chino High School. Our next member is Tristan Agra, who's also a freshman at Chino High School. And our last member is David Rawson, who's also a freshman at Chino High School.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
Oh, you're welcome. It's always nice to recognize the young people and the accomplishments that they achieve. And thank you very much for coaching. Congratulations to you all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the Mayor's Home Beautification Award for May. I'd like to call up Patricia and, Patrick and Tina Stroman of 4230 Independence. I don't bite, you can come up here, it's okay. I'd like to present you with a certificate thanking you for your continued improvement and maintenance of your home, resulting in a substantial contribution to the overall appearance of the community. Okay. And we also have a certificate of recognition from our County Supervisor, Kurt Hagman, recognizing you for the Mayor's Home Beautification Award. We have a picture of your home, beautiful home, very well maintained. We have 2 lapel pins. We have 2 writing pens. And then, of course, we have the coveted yard sign, should you choose to put it in your, in your front yard, announcing that you won this award. So tell us, who does the yard work?
Mayor and council, thank you very much. I don't know if any of you know this, but I am the contractor for the city of Chino for the parks. So I actually re-landscaped my house about 2 years ago and did the drought tolerant. And I actually work with Chino Basin a little bit too on their conservation. So yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it. And of course, it's always nice for your neighborhood, and you're setting an example. And anything we can do to save water is worth it. Right? Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, before our council meeting, we had to recess to close session, so I'd like to ask that our attorney report out of any actions that we took.
Certainly. Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council and audience. The City Council met in closed session and discussed the following items. The first item on the closed session agenda, pardon me, item A1, conference with real property negotiator. That item was not discussed, so there is no report on that item. Item B, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation. The first case being, or set of cases, is FHII LLC DBA Frontier Communities versus City of Chino, with the court cases listed on the agenda. The City Council received an update to the status of those cases, provided direction, and no further reportable action was taken. Item 2, Samantha G., a minor versus Chino Valley Unified School District, the City of Chino, and additional parties. City Council again received an update to the status of that litigation, provided direction, no further reportable action was taken. Finally, item C, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation under the heading initiation of litigation. One case was discussed by the City Council. The City Council did receive an update on that case. Provided direction, no further reportable action was taken. That concludes the report out of closed session, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much, Fred. Next on the agenda is public announcements. First, I'd like to announce a couple of workshops that we'll be having this week and next. This Thursday, May 9th, beginning at 4 p.m., we will be conducting our annual budget workshop right here in the council chambers. Here, we will review the proposed budget for fiscal year 2019-20 and identify the goals we have for the upcoming year and the programs that we would like to develop. Then on Wednesday, May 15th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Chino Police Department on 5450 Guardian Way, We'll be holding a meeting with Caltrans to discuss the upcoming 60 freeway bridge replacement project along Pipeline, Monte Vista, and Benson Avenues. For questions or needed assistance prior to the Caltrans meeting, please contact Kimberly Cherry at 909-383-3290. Also, I wanted to send out one last reminder that Chino Bike Day is happening this Saturday, May 11th, from 7:30 in the morning to 11 o'clock, also in the morning at Ayala Park. This event promotes both physical fitness and bicycle safety by allowing all participants to enjoy a 15-mile community bike ride at 7:30 in the morning, a bicycle safety workshop conducted by our very own Chino Police Department at 9:10 a.m., and a 6-mile family bike ride at 9:30 a.m. Refreshments and raffle prizes will also be available throughout the morning. For all those interested, we ask that everyone please arrive with a helmet and call the Carolyn Owens Community Center at 909-334-3258 for any questions. And lastly, also happening on Saturday, May 11th, is a reading and book signing by Inland Valley Daily Bulletin columnist David Allen to promote his new book, On Track. On Track takes a look at David's well-known and humorous columns during the time period 2001 to 2005. Given that David's columns will always provide insight and historical reference to everything that has happened in and around the Inland Empire, it is fitting that the book signing will be held at the Chino Valley Historical Society at the Old Schoolhouse Museum located at 5493 B Street, beginning at 11 a.m. For more information, please call 909-334-3278. Next on our agenda is public communication. And this is the time and the place for the general public to address items that are not elsewhere on the agenda. We can't take action on anything that's not agendized, but we always welcome your comments. Our first written request to speak is Mr. John Mata from Calvary Chapel, Chino Valley. I'd like to invite anyone who would like to join us in the invocation to please stand.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and council members, city manager, city attorney, and city clerk. On behalf of Calvary Chapel, Chino Valley, and Pastor David Rosales, thank you for this opportunity to lead this amazing meeting in prayer. So let us please pray. God of justice, mercy, and grace and love, thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to serve the people of Chino. Help us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak with love and grace. Give us a spirit of service. Remind us that we're always stewards of your authority. Guide us to be the leaders of your people. Help us to see the humanity and dignity of those in this city and to treat all persons with reverence your creation deserves. Continue to guide our mayor with wisdom and discernment. Guide the council members, the city manager, the city attorney, and all leadership who you have entrusted to oversee and lead this beautiful city. And finally, Father, renew us in the strength of your presence, the joy of helping to build a community worthy of human persons. And we ask this as your children, confident in your goodness and love. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay. Another written request to speak. I'd like to call up Mr. Khan Anwar. He's going to talk to us about an interfaith, I think it's called iftar dinner.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. It's so beautiful to see the proceedings, and they were all in themselves very religious, although they were very secular. But human welfare and uplift of humanity is the essence of every religion. And this is how I think that they were all commendable, including the invocation which has been just made. What I'm going to present to you on behalf of Ahmadiyya Muslim community, we have a mosque on 11941 Ramona Avenue in Chino, which was built in 1987. And since that time, we have been holding functions. It is a large 5-acre parcel, and we hold many, many large meetings. In fact, in 1989, Mayor Ulloa visited us when our Supreme Head came, and it was galaxy of mayors, because 9 mayors of 9 cities around Chino they all participated. We have a function, this is the holy month of Ramadan, or fasting, and we are breaking the fast every day. In fact, in 5 minutes, I will be rushing to the mosque because 7:43 is my fast being broken today. On May 18th, Saturday, we are inviting the mayor and all the council members and anyone who is willing to come and join us at 5 o'clock. We will break the fast around 7:38 that day. And we have a function in which we have a very special thing known as a Quran exhibition. And we are holding this exhibition in which the Holy Quran, the holy book of Islam, has been translated into 78 languages. And all those languages will be displayed at the courtyard in the mosque. So all the people who would like to see their language from, not only the European languages, the African languages, the Far East languages, their translations will be exhibited and demonstrated and how they came about it. And so we wholeheartedly and warmly welcome all of you to join us. It is an hour function, but in that hour, then you will have a Pakistani meal, compliments to the mosque. And we are expecting about 600 people to join us that day. Our function in December invites 2,200 people, and last year it was 1,900 people showed up. So it is a large Muslim gathering, so we invite all. It is the largest mosque in this area, which was built long time ago, thanks to the city and the city police department, and police chief was just here. She is going to be one of the speakers at our function, and we are requesting Mayor also to speak. Mayor once said, and I still recall, it was about 15 years ago you made that statement at one of the places in Chino's, I don't know what was the event, and you made a statement that Chino is a city with the highest number of worship places when our mosque was being built, and many others. So there will be galaxy of religions which will mention, or their leaders will mention, how they fast, because fasting is in every religion. Mm-hmm. So they will describe, including the Jain, the Confucius, the Jews, the Hindus, the Mormons, the Seventh-day Adventists, and like. They will all describe in 3 to 4 minutes how do they fast, and how does it compare to the Muslim fast. So it might be an interesting spiritual fitness for all you, for you all. We had a health presentation. I will present to you spiritual fitness presentation. It will take place on May 18th, so you are welcome to join.
Well, thank you.
May
very
God
much.
bless you.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It is very interesting, which is really needed in today's world because of all the problems. But it's nice to go to the mosque, and there are representatives there from every faith we have in this community. And they're all welcoming, and they all get along. And so it's a very, very nice change from what you see on TV and hear in the
We are all
news.
creator of one God.
Yes.
So we are brothers and sisters to each other. Doesn't matter what denominations or thinking we belong to. We have one creator.
We do.
That
We do
that
have
is
one
what
creator.
combined us together.
Well, thank you very much
May
for
God
the
bless you.
invitation. Thank
If you
you.
allow me, I have to go and break my fast.
Okay, go eat. Go eat. Okay, our next written request to speak is Ryan Cummings from the Chino Valley Historical Society, talking about the Pioneer Picnic. Ryan?
Mayor Eloa, Mayor Pro Tem Howie, council members, city staff, thank you for this opportunity to be here tonight. I'm here on behalf of the Chino Valley Historical Society with my trusty sidekick Sally Santoyo, and we would like to cordially invite you to the Pioneer Picnic on Sunday, May 19th. The event starts at noon, runs until about 2 o'clock. Doors open at 11. There'll be some early birds there, so you might want to get a good parking spot. It is a potluck, so bring your favorite dish and be prepared to share. But I would just like to share with you that we're proud to say this is the 94th annual Pioneer Picnic. So this is a long-going tradition that we've been keeping going for many years, and we hope to continue to the 100th anniversary here pretty soon. But in closing, I'd like to let you know also that Kerry Cisneros is going to be making a historical presentation, as he did last year, and it was very well attended. So we had a full house at the community building last year. We hope to see you, and we greatly appreciate, on behalf of myself, our board, and all of our members, the support that the city provides to the Historical Society and the Schoolhouse Museum. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, we have a tradition here at the council. Those were all the only written requests to speak that I have. So we have a tradition that any student that's in the audience, and most of them that are here because they're made to come. They don't come voluntarily, but their teachers require them to attend a council meeting. So I see that we have several students in the audience. I'm going to invite you to come up to the lectern, give your name of your school, your teacher, and the class that you're taking. So now's your chance to be on TV, prove to your teacher that you fulfilled your class requirement. So come on up.
My name is Haley Klein. I go to Ontario Christian, and we're here for our government class. Our teacher is Mr. Zaidama.
Thank you, Haley. Okay, come on, there's a lot of other faces. We have officers in the back. They'll make you get up. Come on. He looks around. Come on. Stand up. Come up. It took the girl coming up first, really?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
My name is Irie Jones. I go to Ontario Christian. We're here for government class, and my teacher is Mr. Zaidama.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, my name is Julia Ramirez. We're here for government class. My teacher is Mr. Zaidama as well.
Okay.
My name is Blake Sanchez. I'm from Ontario Christian. I'm here for my government class, and my teacher is Mr. Zaidama.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aries Lissing. I also attend Ontario Christian for our government class, and our teacher is Mr. Zaidama.
Okay.
My name is Austin Cerna. I'm here for government class, and my teacher is Mr. Zaidama, and I go to Ontario Christian High School.
Thank you.
My name is Jacob Escobar. I go to Ontario Christian too. I'm here for government class. My teacher is also Mr. Zaidama.
Hi, my name is Braden Ritter from Ontario Christian, and I'm here for government class, and my teacher is Mr. Zaidama.
Thank you.
My name is Andrew Shahivar. I go to Ontario Christian. My teacher is Mr. Zaidama, and I'm here for government class.
Thank you.
My name is Howard Ding, and I attend Ontario Christian. My teacher is Jeremy Zaidama, and he teaches government.
Thank you for being here this evening. Okay, are there any other students in the class that are or in the audience that are hiding? Uh-huh, there's one right in the front row. Say, oh darn.
My name is Joe Garcia. I go to Ayala High School, and I'm here for a Boy Scout requirement.
Oh, Boy Scout requirement. Which requirement?
Citizenship in the community. You have to show up at a city council meeting.
Very good. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay, is there anyone else that would like to address the council on any item that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we will move on then to our consent calendar. I believe that staff has requested that we pull, is it item number 15?
It's item number 13, which is related to KB Homes, acceptance of a park, and then item number 15, which is related to specifications for an overlay project.
Okay, and those are being sent back to staff?
That's correct.
Okay, are there any items that council members wish to have pulled for discussion?
Just 117.
Okay. We're pulling number 17 for discussion, and I would entertain a motion on the balance of the consent calendar. Okay, the balance has been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Howie, second from Councilman Lucio. And the balance of the consent calendar passes unanimously. Item number 17, would you like a staff report on that, Mr. Hargrove?
I guess, Matt, the reason I pulled this is
I think this is just one of those things that's out there that sometimes we just put in a consent calendar and gloss over, but with all the things going on in the state, I think it's just really important for maybe the audience or the people out there in TV land to understand this housing element. And my biggest concern about that is that they understand that when I go around and I talk to people, they say, you know, they're very critical of the council and why are you putting in all this high density? And so I just want them to have a better understanding of what goes on in this process with how the state mandates things and how regionally they mandate things and how more and more this is getting out of council's control. So I don't know, I know it's a quite large housing element. I don't expect you to go over everything, but just generally, if you could speak or staff could speak just about what that is and how that affects us.
Certainly, and this is a very timely issue. I know our new governor has made it known that housing, whether we like it or not, in whichever form, it's my understanding that last year, I think in the state of California, there was about 150,000 homes constructed. And I think it's the governor's goal to build about 500,000 homes. So you can see where his goal is versus what reality is. But it's very timely. We're seeing a lot of bills being proposed as it relates to housing. And it's not discretionary, it's actually by right. So with that, I've invited Nick Liguori, our Development Services Director, to provide kind of a general overview. This item deals with we need to provide an annual report on our general plan and our housing element, and so with that, I'll let Nick take it from there.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. The item before you tonight is our required annual reporting process. There's two components of that. One is an annual report on the status of the city's general plan, which we're required to submit by statute to the Office of Planning, State Office of Planning and Research annually. And then the second component is a report on our housing element compliance. Housing element is a part of or chapter of a city's general plan. Housing element is mandated by state law. There's 7 required elements of a general plan. Housing is one of them. Housing is unique, however, in that there is a very large body of law behind what is supposed to be in a housing element, how a city is supposed to adopt and implement it. And if you would like me to, I could probably spend 2 hours talking about this subject, but I will try to truncate it into its essence, which is difficult. But the state law requires housing elements, requires them to be updated every 8 years. Every council of government has its own cycle timing, so we are in the SCAG region, Southern California Association of Governments, so us along with the other counties in the SCAG region are required to update it. Our next housing element cycle, the 6th cycle, will be coming up in 2021. So next year in 2020, the city will be working to implement and adopt a revised housing element. There's a lot of rules regarding what the city can and can't do in regards to its housing element and how a city has to align its housing element, which is its adopted housing policy, with its land use and its transportation policies as well. It's becoming more and more complicated. In the last legislative session, the State Assembly and Senate proposed bills, which the governor signed, which added a lot more laws to the body of housing element law that really upped the standards for cities to try and comply and provide their share of affordable housing. Now, cities don't build housing generally. The private sector builds housing. We're only required to make sites available for that housing. Because Chino is in the SCAG region and we're in a larger metropolitan statistical area, we're bound by certain rules and certain densities that we have to approve. We are given so many units within various categories: very low, low, moderate, and above moderate. What the report will show you is that Chino has done very well in terms of providing housing and opportunities for housing. But almost all of that housing is at what we would call market rate, which is in the above moderate category. In terms of very low and low, the city struggles because the main tool that we used to build up those numbers in the previous decade was redevelopment. We had redevelopment set-aside funds. The city was very active in working with housing developers to build affordable housing units, like the Bridge Housing Project in College Park neighborhood, Meadow Square. We did a lot of work downtown to put in Habitat for Humanity homes and other things. Well, that funding has been stripped away from us. So while the state continues to up the ante on cities to provide more affordable housing opportunities, the cities can't keep up with that because we no longer have a dedicated source of housing funds. And so what does that mean? That means that the state law by default is forcing cities to zone more land for more housing. And they're forcing them to zone that land at higher densities to allow developers to conceivably, but not practically, achieve some level of affordability. And so for those low and very low categories, the state default density is 30 units per acre. For moderate, it's 20 units per acre. So it means anything that's less than 20 is essentially a market rate or upper income category housing unit that's produced. So this is all to say that the city is in compliance with housing element law right now, and our housing element is in compliance. But when the sixth cycle comes, it's going to be very difficult to figure out how to make that work. And so that's a planning process that the city staff is ready to engage with the public, residents in the city council, to see, how is that possible? How could it happen? But there are some very tough decisions that are going to be made that the state is forcing our hand. Some ways that they're forcing our hand is there's existing legislation where a city could be penalized for not monetarily, for not having certified housing element. If certain housing projects are not approved, a judge could fine the city for not providing housing or working against it. There's discussion about withholding transportation funds from cities as well. And applying for grants for certain things like park improvements and other things, the city would be prohibited. So it's very difficult to assess right now because some of these changes in state law happened just in the last legislative session, and there's current Senate and Assembly bills that would propose to change those laws. So we don't even know the rules that we're going to be playing with because they keep changing them faster than staff can keep up with them. So all of that just to say that this is a rapidly changing area in the state. I think it would behoove all citizens in all cities to look at what's being proposed, AB 330, SB 50, and talk to their legislators to see, is that in alignment with the state that they'd like to see.
One of the concerns is, of course, the city has no control at all over land prices, what a landowner chooses to sell their property for or what a buyer chooses to pay. We also have absolutely no control over what the builders charge for their end product. And so it's rather ridiculous that they require us to provide low and moderate income housing when we can't control those costs. And yet we're going to be penalized for it if we can't provide it. It makes no sense to me at all. Mark, did you have comments that you wanted to make about the item?
No, I don't think you want to hear my comments, but I appreciate that. I just think it's something we need to keep reiterating out there just so the public, general public and the residents for sure understand where these mandates are coming from, how we process them, and how we create the housing in our community. It's not just simply to say, that looks like a good place to build, big homes and half acres. It just doesn't work like that anymore. It may have one time, but I mean, there's just so many state mandates that are out there given to us, and I mean, the local control is just slipping away every day. So, yeah, I mean, anytime these things come up, I'm probably going to ask you to just continue to update us and reiterate that how these things are done, and just remember your votes matter, like when you go out there and who you're putting into place and what they're mandating for us. All that stuff matters.
It does.
So-
And the other issue also is that somehow there's a connection that high density means low income housing, and that is not true. We have one developer that has been struggling to try to build a product at 30 per acre, and it's unaffordable to build. He just physically cannot build it, even under current costs, even if he could ask what he wants to for the project. It's just unbuildable at today's cost. So this is just no-win situation. Councilman Rodriguez, did you want to speak?
In support to what Nick's saying, also, this is going to be cutting into what I'm going to say later on, but the Senate bill, the San Bernardino County Summit really had, in Arrowhead a couple weeks ago, had a lot of, many PDFs and files and PowerPoints that were presented. And I am willing to offer that link to anyone that would like to review this information, because all the presenters were excellent. And they described not only housing, they described transportation, they described the idea of when you think about people moving or traveling east to west for jobs. Well, they're saying no, they're coming from the west to east. Why is that so? Because there's more land out here, and so the opportunities for jobs need to be established too. So when we look at our youth, many of them are being trained, they're being given internships and all this, but there's no place to live, so they move out to Arizona or New Mexico or go to Texas with 10 acres and the first mortgage paid for the year. So the brain power is leaving us, so it encompasses not only affordable homes, but doing it logically, and it's going to be mandated, I think. And as Nick said, it's something that is coming down. It's happening now. We just need to be prepared as to, okay, how do we do it logically and fairly that it's going to be productive for the people, for everyone involved. So I thank you, Nick, for everything.
The difficulty again is we have control over the zoning. We have no control over the prices or what it costs to build these homes. So
Exactly.
I think what's eventually going to happen is there's going to be many state mandates that cities cannot comply with.
Right.
And I think there's going to be a rebellion because you just can't demand that certain things are done of an agency that has no direct control over what's happening.
Exactly.
It's really, really concerning.
Exactly.
Okay, then that is item number 17. We're going to need a separate motion and vote on that item. So there's a motion from Councilman Hargrove, second from Mayor Pro Tem Howie. And item number 17 passes unanimously. Thank you, Nick, for the information. Next item on the agenda is public hearing. This is item number 19, Community Development Block Grant 2019-20, one-year action plan. This item is to approve the 2019-2020 one-year action plan for the Community Development Block Grant Program and carry over an estimated $345,259.46 in unused funds from program year 2018-19 to program year 2019-20 for completion of the Streetlight MS 162 projects. I'd like to declare the public hearing open, and our staff report this evening will be provided by Nick Lagori, our Director of Development Services.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. So how about some good news?
That would be nice.
Yeah, so tonight, staff is presenting to you the city's 2019-2020 one-year Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, action plan. The plan identifies the recommended usage of funds that are allocated to us by the federal government, so the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The city of Chino for 2019-2020 is being awarded the amount of $554,114. Exhibit 1 in the staff report displays this funding, the recommendations for both the services, capital improvement, and administration. By statute, the city is allowed 20% for administration, which includes our fair housing and mediation component, 15% for public service, and 65% for capital improvements. This year, there were 6 public service applicants, and each project was recommended for funding based upon the review and prioritization of the Community Services Commission. The 6 awarded applicants were the City of Chino Human Services Family Counseling Program, Chino Neighborhood House, Family Services Association, which does the Senior Nutrition Program, Inland Valley Hope Partners, Think Together for Child Care Services, and House of Ruth. Exhibit 1 also includes the proposed reallocation of unexpended capital funds in the amount of $62,517. These are being allocated for the Monte Vista Park Update Project. This public hearing fulfills HUD's citizen participation requirements for the adoption of the one-year action plan. The city commenced a 30-day public review period between March 1st and April 1st and received no comments. Following adoption, the action plan will be submitted to HUD. So staff recommends that the council take the recommended actions as noted in the staff report, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Nick. Do any council members have questions of Nick? Nope. Okay, then I will invite anyone from the public who would like to talk on this issue or ask questions. Okay, seeing none, then I will close the public hearing and call for a motion. It's a motion from Councilman Lucio, second from Councilman Rodriguez. And the item passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is mayor and council reports. This is the time and the place for the mayor and the council members to report on items that they have attended since the last council meeting. And I'll begin. See, in April, and try to make this quick, on April 17th, I attended the mayor's prayer breakfast in the morning and then met with Stephen Chung and TJ Matovich from Creative Bus Sales for an update on their projects that they're involved in. I also showed them a photo of a bus that my husband and I and friends rode on in Alaska on one of the excursions that we went on. It was really interesting. There was a big plaque up there. It's a Creative Bus Chino. That was nice. And then the next day I was supposed to leave to go to the City Counties Conference, but my car decided to blow up that night, so I couldn't go. So, since I was dealing with having my car towed to 2 different repair shops, I missed the Water Master Advisory Committee on the 18th and the Recharge Improvement Project Committee meeting, but I was able to participate in a conference call regarding the OBMP update. Then on Tuesday, the 23rd, I attended the West Valley Mosquito Vector Control District Board of Directors meeting, and I'd like to remind all the public that mosquitoes breed in very, very tiny amounts of water. So if you have containers under your flower pots or anything that could hold water at all, please dump them because the weather is starting to warm up and we're going to start seeing problems with mosquitoes. And then that day also, I attended the Water Master Budget Workshop. On the 24th, Councilman Mayor Pro Tem Howie and I attended the Preserve Open House along with several community services commissioners. Our executive management team and other staff members from every city department were there with exhibits. There was also representatives from the Fire District and Lewis Operating Group to answer questions and provide information. We got a lot of really good feedback through that particular open house. We're looking forward to having quarterly meetings around the city and then hopefully every year have a great big one at the Preserve where all the city departments are represented. On the 25th, I attended the Water Master Board of Directors meeting. There were no new business items that month. And legal counsel provided a summary of the last several years of legal actions, confirming that the stay pending the appeal is off calendar, and now the 2002 Water Master Rules and Regulations update process will be proceeding in May and June. There'll be a June 7th court hearing with the judge regarding the OBMP semi-annual status report to keep him updated. And now that the various court hearings are completed, the assessment package beginning with fiscal year 2014-15, which covers water production for the year 13-14, will begin to be updated with a workshop scheduled to be held on April 30th. On Friday, the 26th, I attended the Southern California Water Coalition Quarterly Board of Directors meeting and luncheon. Saturday, the 27th, I attended the memorial service for Dean Conley, very, very outstanding man who passed several weeks ago. On the 29th, I attended a planning meeting with Mayor Cynthia Moreno from Chino Hills, our staff, and David Dinison from Chick-fil-A regarding the August Chestnut Checkers Leadership Conference. May 1st, Omnitrans Board of Directors and San Bernardino County Transportation Authority Board of Directors. On Thursday, the 2nd, started the morning with the National Day of Prayer celebration at the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, along with about 400 other people. Then went to the Water Master Colloquium on water quality for a briefing on potential upcoming water quality legislation that could require huge financial investments in water treatment. And that's gonna all hit us with our water bills, I'm afraid. And 11:30 came back to City Hall for our National Day of Prayer here at the City Hall led by Calvary Chapel, Chino Valley, and then back to the Water Colloquium. Then in the afternoon went to Inland Empire Utilities Agency Sewage Policy Committee. On the 3rd, we had the Council Executive Management Team Workshop, which all council members attended. I was really excited about the progress that we made at that meeting, and I'm really looking forward to see the master plan that's going to come out of that. Strategic plan will be updated, and then we'll have a roadmap of where we're going in the future. We're going to have to plan what's going to happen with this property and other downtown properties for renovation and upgrading. The library, the senior center, perhaps the NAC, the community theater, just all kinds of exciting things are coming up, as well as we talked about future staffing at the build-out of our community. There's just a lot going on, and we're not going to get there successfully without a roadmap, so we're going to be creating a very vibrant roadmap. And then on the 6th, last night, I attended the Rotary Del Chino Bingo fundraiser. That turned out nice. Rancho, sorry about that. Rancho Del Chino Rotary Bingo fundraiser. Tom's a member. And that was a lot of fun. Today, I was at a meeting with the University of Laverne student Amber Calderon and her class, along with Dr. James Garcia, who wanted to know about our Healthy Chino program and the programs related to healthy eating and healthy lifestyles that our city offers. And I want to thank Community Services staff Ted Basarte and Jake Velasco for their presentations to the group. I think the group that came today was very impressed with what the city of Chino does, working with our community on food and programs and healthy living. I think they took back a lot of valuable information. Okay, that's all I have, and I will call on Mayor Pro Tem Howie next.
Thank you, Eunice. Well, you've been busy.
And I'm retired.
Yeah, I don't know how you ever did it before that.
Don't
Holy
either.
smokes. Okay.
No sleep.
No sleep. There you go. Okay, so let me run through these quickly, because I know everybody will appreciate that. Yes, the Rancho Del Chino Rotary Club's bingo was last night. It was very successful. We had about 350 people plus over at Brenderson Hall, and it's always we've done it now. It was our 30th anniversary bingo, which started back in 1989, or was it 1990? It was one of those 2 years. Anyway, no, it was 1990 we started it. That's right. So anyway, that was a good fundraiser last night. I'm going in reverse here for a change. And then on Saturday, May the 4th, was the Chino Air Show. Hopefully everybody, if you didn't see it, you probably heard all the planes flying overhead. Again, the weather was spectacular this year for the air show, which is normally sometimes in 95, 100 degrees, and people, I mean, I saw the fire district was very happy that people weren't passing out as usual from heat exhaustion. And I think the police department said everything went very, very well, and they're really organized and do a great job out at the air show. It's always great to see those World War II planes still flying. It's pretty remarkable when you can see 7, 8, or 9 P-51 Mustangs all in a row. It's a kind of a miracle. They're still able to fly after 75 years. Okay, then Eunice mentioned the strategic planning meeting we had on the 3rd. I went to a Chino DeSalter board meeting and a water facilities TAC meeting on the 2nd. The police department swearing in. Chief Comstock swore in, I believe, 5 new officers last week, and which is about filling half the gap of our sworn personnel. So all those young faces coming to work for the police department, it's great to see the energy that was in the room on that particular day. Went to the Preserve open house. We're having our Chino on the Move, City Hall on the Move, and so that was the first one in April in the Preserve. And then the City Hall on the Move events will be held on a quarterly basis at different locations throughout the city, generally on a Saturday morning at a local supermarket or venue near you. So kind of pay attention and go to one of those. They're going to be all through the city, and you get to learn a little bit about the city. And let's see, also a Chino DeSalter finance meeting, and then of course the county conference on April 18th. That's been a busy 3 weeks. Thank you.
Councilman Hargrove.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I'm going to be short and sweet, believe it or not, all those events that I have been going to, but I rarely can get my wife to watch the council meetings, and when she did, she said, "You talk too much," so I'm going to cut it short.
Wise woman.
Yeah, really smart lady. So just some of the things that I want to highlight is April 27th, I went to opening day of the Chino Corporate Challenge. I've also attended quite a few events over the time, basketball, volleyball. This is a great event. I've followed the Corporate Challenge in the newspaper, the champion, and see who's beating who and who's doing what. I think Tom's even got a little medal now. And
Do you have a medal?
Yeah.
What did you get?
He's medal.
Third in golf.
Third in golf.
All right.
I was always told if you're not first, you're last. So,
Ooh.
but that's okay. We probably got some points out of that, right?
Yeah, we did.
So
3 points.
So what a great event. I know maybe Councilman Lucio has some. We went to the opening, and I even got to sound the horn for the relay race. And yeah. So anyways, we'll see if I can, I just continue, they continue to ask me, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So next year, maybe I'll have to jump in and show them all my talents, but don't hold me to that. Anyway, so what a great event, though. I wholeheartedly support that. It's just great to see and talk to people out there and how much they enjoy it. The other one was Plains of Fame. I also went, but I went on Sunday, which is another fantastic day. The weather was perfect. Took my grandson and my wife and daughter. We enjoyed the day. Usually we set out in the front yard and kind of watch the planes go over, but
You're a little closer.
it's a total different event when you go there and get to listen to the announcer and giving you some facts and background and watching these planes up close. And so I would recommend anybody that hasn't never been there, even though they may have lived in Chino their whole life, to go check it out at least once. The other thing that I have is, if you'll indulge me just for a minute, I went to a meeting this evening at 5 o'clock at the Chino Neighborhood House, and Kevin Cisneros was there. He's the chairperson, president. I don't know what title they give him, but he just asked if I could read something. He had an emergency come up. So I'll be real short with this. Is he wanted to announce about the Chino Neighborhood House has been serving Chino Valley since 1945. Serving low and moderate income families and seniors. They provide them food for their table, enabling students to be more successful at school and allowing seniors to live a healthy lifestyle. They're located right over here on 6th Street. They provide supplemental groceries to individuals out of their pantry and cupboards there. Each month, they provide groceries and other items to 350 families and seniors that live in the Chino Valley Unified School District, a total of approximately 1,200 individuals per month who meet the county standards of extremely low and moderate income requirements. They provide hygiene items, baby care, clothing, and more, all of which go directly to this immediate community. So the reason he wanted to come to announce was they're currently hosting their spring fundraiser to ensure they have funds needed and provided for the services throughout the summer months. He's asking for any support primarily from the council. If there's any way that they could support, he would be very much appreciated for that organization. And he lastly says he appreciates our support and the support from the city of Chino.
What is their fundraiser going to be?
Well, he
Did he
didn't give
say?
me all that. He
It's a
just,
bingo.
Is it a bingo?
No, that's the museum.
well, he said he'll be at the next council, maybe he can provide some
Okay.
more, but I know he just, because of whatever they're starting, their spring fundraiser, right? I guess we are in spring, but we're nearly summer, right?
Yeah.
So,
Almost. Okay.
and then lastly, I just want to wish all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day coming up, especially to my mother, who's still alive and kicking, enjoying life in her 80s, and she's just a vibrant woman and having a good time in life, and how much I appreciate her, and of course my wife, a mother of 5 and probably 6 sometimes if you count me. So happy Mother's Day to everyone out there, and I hope you enjoy your day, to all the mothers. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Lucio.
Yes, on April 18th and 19th, we attended the city and county conference up in Lake Arrowhead. Some of the discussions that we had up there was a talk about the San Bernardino County, how we have in-migration and out-migration. And I know a lot of people, especially in my profession, everybody wants to retire and leave California. They're saying that does occur, but it seems like they come right back. So it was interesting to see that although we lose people, we get more people coming in to California, which I didn't believe until I saw the statistics. It also covered some of the job growth that's growing in San Bernardino County and some of the state mandated housing requirements that are coming. April 22nd, I attended the Community Service Commission meeting. They recognized members from the Teen Advisory Committee who have completed their terms. It was nice seeing these teens going off to college, so all of them came up. They were all going off to college. It was good to see how successful the program is and the fact that a lot of these kids are going out to some really top-notch colleges. They also approved and recommended for the approval by the council the naming of one of the parks, Discovery Park, which is a new park that's in the preserve. And they also approved the retail permits to 29 of the returning nonprofit groups, and they made the decision not to conduct a lottery for the remaining one. Community Service Commission is also going to recommend to the council the appointment of Gregory Marquez to the Community Service Commission as a member at large. I believe he was also a person that applied for the Planning Commission, so it's good to see that he's still being involved and still wants to participate. April 27th, I attended the Corporate Challenge opening ceremonies at Ayala Park. I showed up there with my son. We saw the city competing in various events. I think we were there for the 5K and the tug of war.
Tug of war.
They really did well in the tug of war. I thought they were going to take the whole thing, and I was cheering them on and yelling, and my son had to pull me back aside and said, "Hey, wait a minute. I thought you only yelled like that at wrestling tournaments." So I realized I was probably getting a little out of control. May 2nd, I attended the Chino Valley Unified School District meeting. There was a couple of teachers that came up and spoke. Some of the topics that they talked about was the fact that the Chino Valley Unified School District needs to hire some more speech pathologists. They said currently they only have 7 full-time speech pathologists and 3 part-time instructors. And right now they have approximately 1,895 students who receive services for this. So they're just saying that it's a very hard field to get into. It's very competitive, and that they need to be a little bit more. I think they need to pay them a little bit more and offer them a little bit more incentives so that they can attract some of these people from other agencies and hospitals and whatnot. Another thing that they talked about was raising the amount of kids that are going to be inside the traditional kindergarten. They want to move from 20 to 26, so a couple of teachers were up there talking about that, and they thought that was not a good idea. But one of the main things that's coming up is on May 16th, they'll be voting on whether or not to open up a second school in the preserve. So that was one of the topics that's going to be coming up on the 16th. That it's obviously affecting the community in the preserve, and I'm sure it's going to be a good turnout.
It's required, right? Aren't they required to open a second school?
I think they are, but they're going to vote on it because I think initially they wanted to bus some students and buy some time and until they were able to build the school. But now I believe the community has come out and said that they want the school, so they have to make a decision to vote on the 16th. And then on May 3rd, we did the goal-setting workshop. Again, like the mayor talked about, we covered the growth of our different departments, the police department and our regular departments that we have here, and how we need to keep up with the growth that's happening in the city. And some of the ideas that we're talking about the downtown area is pretty exciting. So hopefully in the next workshop, the community can come in. I believe we only had one person from the community, which was Jerry Rowe, who was there. But it would be nice to see a little bit more involvement once we start looking at different ideas and what we would like to plan so that it has a whole buy-in from the whole community. And of course, on May 5th, I attended the Plains of Fame at the Chino Airport. It was a great event. I'd never been there. I live just outside of the airport, so I usually just sit in the backyard and I can watch them fly by and barbecue. But it definitely was a whole different aspect being there and watching the planes take off and come back and do the tricks. As I don't get to see all of them, I only see the ones that perform the bigger loops. But it was definitely a great event. I'll definitely be going there every year. But if you haven't been, it's something that you should attend, and that's all I have.
Okay, Councilman Rodriguez, you also have item number 20 for the community
yes.
support contribution.
I'll leave that last, okay. Okay, once again, I attended with the rest of the council April 18th through 19th, San Bernardino County Summit of Arrowhead. Again, if anyone's interested in reviewing the PDFs or the files, just contact us at City Hall through Rita Pro or Jack Morgan, and we'll provide you with a link. That way you can
Paul,
review
I
those.
believe, isn't that also available on the county website? Because it was a county cities conference.
Yeah, well, I had spoken to Matt and just said that, we could also give it to people. Yeah. Very quickly, I attended with Tom on April 30th, the 5 new officers that were sworn in. Very good. Yeah. Well attended. On May 1st through the 3rd, I attended the SCAG annual conference in Palm Desert. And one of the themes of the conference was, where will our children live? And it covered many of the topics that we've already discussed concerning housing and transportation, technology, automation, and so forth. The May 3rd, I rushed back from Palm Desert straight to the city for the city goal setting. And I'm looking forward to looking at our city branding, which was a big topic for at least 20 minutes as to how we're going to brand ourselves. And of course, there was other discussions concerning our mission, vision, and values that we are taking a look at, and we're going to keep it up to date. And also technology and housing and other items were discussed, including the fine job that our Chino Police Department is doing. I attended Supervisor Kurt Hagman's meeting and show on Friday, reception. And then on Saturday, I attended the air show at the Chino Air Fair and grounds. And I could just tell you, it always amazes me to see so many people having a good time, not any problems whatsoever, and people just enjoying the weather and the company. It was very good. Yesterday, May 6th, I attended the RENA, which is part of SCAG, and there it was a discussion concerning the numbers and what's coming down with the state of California and our governor and legislation. And that concludes my report, except that I would like to continue the tradition and recommend that the City Council approve a contribution to Hope Family Resource Center for the Chino Valley Unified School District.
Okay, that's item number 20. There is a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Howie, second from Councilman Lucio, and that request is granted unanimously. Okay, Mr. Ballantyne, anything from the city manager's office?
Yes, Mayor. The only thing I'd like to add is for the last 3 months, Nick Ligori and myself have been holding office hours down in the preserve, and we certainly have enjoyed the engagement with our residents down there. Our last meeting was last Thursday, and we had one resident show up. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of dial back to having office hours once a month down there. And so we will push that out through social media, and hopefully the champion can note that. But our next meeting will be June 6th. So June 6th, and we're meeting out there between 6 and 8 p.m. And certainly if we have a lot of engagement and we need to go back to meeting twice a month, we'll certainly do that. But I want to thank all the other staff members that joined us, and we had some special appearances from our traffic division at the PD, and I think they've been very visible out there. So anyway, June 6th will be our next office hours out in the preserve from 6 to 8 at the community center there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fred, anything from the city attorney?
The only thing I have is for your next meeting, which is going to be a special meeting on Wednesday, the 22nd. I will not be available. I have a conflict that evening. So Brian Wright Bushman, who covers the Planning Commission, will be here in my place. So thank you for that.
Okay. And Chief Comstock. There you are.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Mayor, you talked about a lot of great things you can do this week in Chino. You know, David Allen's book signing, the bike rodeo, the bike ride down in Ayala Park, and also our budget workshop that will occur this Thursday at 4 o'clock. But you can get a twofer on Thursday if you would like to. One of the things you can do after the budget workshop, which is come right over to the police department and attend our How to Survive an Active Shooter workshop. And we co-teach that with our partners at the fire department. You know, Chief Shackelford's employees and mine get together. And it's the basic concepts of run, hide, fight, and treat. And if you haven't had an opportunity to go to this workshop, it's very, very informative, very insightful. One of the things a lot of people are very, very concerned about today is active shooter incidents and what we call the gap of survival until first responders can arrive and help people survive those incidents. It gets a lot of great reviews. In fact, there's some people here tonight in this meeting tonight that have actually attended and can attest to it. So I would invite anybody that wants to come. If you can't get in on Eventbrite, feel free to call into Tamron Olden at 909-334-3086 to see if you can make some more room for your accommodations, but we'd be happy to have you. And yes, the air show was great. I was out there on Sunday, and I'm always very, very happy that our community can host such a nice event. And the public, not just our own residents, but guests from out of town, can come in and be so well behaved and have such a nice event here in the city of Chino. So thank you.
Karen, one thing, the hours of the workshop on Thursday.
6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay. You want to repeat that phone number again?
909-334-3086. Yes,
Okay.
for Supervisor Olden. Yes, sometimes the Eventbrite does, state that it's sold out, but we can, check and see if we can get a few extra people in there.
Okay, great. And that'll be held at the police department.
At the police department in our community training room.
Okay, thank you, Karen.
Thank you, and thank you to Chief Shackelford for letting his employees go teach that with us.
Okay. And now we call on Chief Shackelford. We're honored with his presence this evening.
Good evening once again, Mayor and Council. Just a few items. Deputy Chief Mike Faraday has announced his retirement June 6th, which will bring a whole host of promotions behind that vacancy, and we will be moving forward with those. We have several folks lined up. Additionally, we'll be starting 6 new firefighter paramedics on May 28th, and they will begin a 5-week orientation academy with us. And I hope to bring them to the council for an introduction. I'll work with the city manager to see if we can accommodate that briefly at one of the upcoming meetings. And finally, if folks in the audience tonight haven't had enough of local government at work, our board of directors will be meeting tomorrow night at Fire District Headquarters at 6 p.m., 14011 City Center Drive, 6 p.m. And please come and join the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, that's all we have this evening. So our next regular meeting will be held of course, on May 22nd, but we're having a special budget workshop this Thursday, May 9th at 4 o'clock here in the City Council chambers. And if you're interested, please join us for that meeting. If not, then we'll see you on May 22nd at 7 o'clock with closed session at 6 if necessary. With that, we are adjourned.